Hi guys, it's Couponing Stacy. If you are new to my channel or you've never seen me before, I am an extreme couponer, but I am also very frugal in a lot of other ways. And so today I wanted to talk to you all about why I have 8 bank accounts and why I think you should have 8 bank accounts also. It sounds ridiculous, and when I first heard about this, it sounded so excessive and like something I would never do, but honestly, it is one of the best decisions that my husband and I have ever made. It has really helped us keep track of our money and keep us on budget and help us to put the money toward bills that add up, like credit cards or paying extra off on our car or on student loans or anything. It's really helped us with that. I know a lot of people at this time of year resolve to get out of debt or just to save extra money, and honestly, having your bank set up like this is going to be one of the simplest ways that you can start doing that. So I really hope that you will listen to this video and follow these steps to help yourself be more frugal. So I have 8 bank accounts set up like I said. I have a master account, a fixed expenses, a flex expense, healthcare. My husband and I each have our own bank account. We have a vacation / slush fund, and we have an emergency fund. So I'm gonna go back over those and talk about them in depth as to what they are and why we have them. And then I will kind of go over examples for how your money should be going into all of these accounts. So a master account is where all of your money goes into. So initially, all of your money from work, if you do YouTube like I do, any money from that, if you are an eBay seller, anywhere where you have money coming in, it should be going into this master account, which will allow you to see how much you're getting in a month, and then after that determine where the money should be going. Then we have the fixed expenses account. That account is for all of your bills that do not change. So that will be things like your rent or your mortgage payment, your car payment, your phone bills, your electricity, your internet, your cable, everything like that that has a recurring monthly bill that you know what it's going to be, which your electricity might change a little bit, but that bill is still going to be roughly the same every month. So those kinds of bills, you're going to figure out what those cost, and they're going to go into your fixed expenses. Then you have your flex expenses. So those are still going to be your bills, but they're going to be your bills that can change a little bit every month or that you can pay more to. So things like your credit cards, you can do student loans, you can do car payment here if you want to, but that is a fixed one. So it depends what you're trying to pay off at the time. Also, you can do a grocery budget here if you want. That is not how we have it set up right now. However, when we first set this up, that is how we did it, and it worked out just fine doing it like that. So you can kind of pick what needs to go into your flex spending. Then your healthcare is basically exactly what you would think it is. You want to put money there for doctors, or if you end up in the emergency room, things like that. So you shouldn't be spending your healthcare money every month. However, it's nice to have it there for when you do need it. Then, like I said, my husband and I both have an account. It is just very financially liberating to an extent that you each have your own money, so you can really pick what goes into those accounts. But it's nice because my husband and I like to kind of justify expenses to each other along the way, but there are some things that you'd want to just be able to buy without having to explain yourself. So, you know, if you want to buy a lunch out, if you want to buy a new makeup item, it's nice to have money in your own account that you don't have to justify to anyone when you spend that money. And for me, I do have my grocery budget currently going into my monthly account. That just encourages me to be more frugal with my grocery budget so that if there's anything left over, I can spend it on myself, or it can go toward other bills. Then we have the emergency fund, and that is basically what it sounds like. If you fall on hard times, if you lose a job, you don't have money coming in, you have some money to fall back on in this emergency account. So you should not be touching that ever unless you fall onto these hard times, which hopefully doesn't happen. So hopefully this money just builds upon itself. Then lastly, you have the vacation / slush fund. Don't skip this account either. This is gonna be one of those ones that's tempting to skip if you're trying to get out of debt. However, I think it's a really good account to have, even if you're just putting a little bit of money into it. And this is just money that you're saving up for if you go on a vacation, or if you're trying to save up to buy something that you might not otherwise buy. If you want to buy a KitchenAid, if you want to use it for other things that you don't need but you just want, this allows you to have a place for that. So let's say, for example, that you take in $5,000 in a month. I obviously don't know what you make, but this is something that you're going to kind of have to figure out on your own, but this will still give you an idea of how it would work. So that $5,000 a month should be starting off in your master bank account, like I said before. Then let's say your rent costs you $1,000 a month, you have a $200 car payment, your phone bill costs you $50, your internet costs you $30, and let's say electricity costs you $100. So your bills are gonna cost you $1,380 a month. So you're gonna put that $1,380 into your fixed account, which will leave you with $3,620 left. Then you're gonna move on into your flex account. So your flex account, let's say you have credit cards and you have 2 credit cards and they're $25 a month, so you have to pay $50 to your credit cards, and then let's say you have your student loans and you pay $150 a month to those. So you would have to put in $200, except for this account, I think you should go over that, so you should be putting in like $300, so you have a little bit extra because you want to be able to pay these things off quicker since they have an interest rate on them. So you're going to put $300 into that account initially. So then you have $3,120 left. Then you're going to put in your money into you and your spouse's account. If you have kids, you can make accounts for them too if you would like. So let's say that you are each getting $50 a month. This is totally going to depend on however much you think that you and your significant other need in those accounts. So it could be $20, it could be $200. It's whatever you think works for you. But let's say that you're going to do $50 a month, and then if you're like me and you're going to put your grocery budget into that account, I do $200 a month for my grocery budget. It's just my husband and I. And again, if you have more people living in your house, your grocery budget is going to be more. So this is always something you're going to tweak based on your needs. But let's say it's just you and your spouse and you're like me and you just are going to do $200 a month for your groceries. And then you're doing $50 each for like your fun money that you can just spend however you see fit, which then leaves you with $2,820. So then you are going to look into your healthcare, and I say do about $50 to $100, so we're going to say $100. Of course you can do more. So then you're putting your $100 a month into healthcare, which leaves you with $2,720. So then you are going to need to put some money into your emergency account. I always say you should do more in your emergency account, because if that is something that you end up needing to live off of, you're gonna hope that you have a good amount of money there. So I'm calculating that, let's say you do $1,500 a month into your emergency account, which leaves you with $1,220. And then your last account is your vacation account. Again, that can be however much you want. It can be $5, $10. I calculated just saying like $200 a month is going into there, which would leave $1,020. Okay, so then you have that left and there's no more accounts. But obviously that money is not going to stay in your master account. You're going to decide where you want to finish divvying that up. So I would say do it like this, kind of just pre-plan like how much you think should go into each account and then how much you have left, and decide where that's going to go. So you might want to put more into your flex account so that you can pay off credit cards or, loans faster. You might want to put more into vacation or an emergency fund, or maybe you want to give it more into the personal bank accounts. Wherever you see fit, that's how you should be doing it. But that is basically how this works. It is so much better than having just 1 or 2 bank accounts, which I know a lot of people have that because it sounds like, 8 bank accounts sounds like a lot, but 2 bank accounts, if you're just constantly taking money out, you really aren't tracking it very well, you're not seeing how much needs to be put into each place, that's really bad. Because like I said, in this scenario, you end up with $1,000 left that you might not have known was there if you just are spending however you see fit. Maybe you would have been spending that $1,000 just like on groceries or on clothes or anything that you just wanted. And then you're wondering why you don't have money left at the end of the month. Well, that's why. So if you calculate what you have and where it needs to go, I promise you, you will start to see your financial situation improve so much. Set up a grocery budget so that you don't spend too much on groceries per month. And that again can be however you see fit. If you eat like all organic or you're on like a paleo diet or something, like that is going to cost more. So you might need to have a larger grocery budget than if you kind of aren't too particular about what you and your family eats. So this is always what works for you, but I really, really recommend that you set up these. It's at least 7, because if you're by yourself, then you would just have that one account for you for your like fun money. 8 if you have a spouse, and then maybe more if you want to do your kids, especially if they're older. So also, I guess in terms of what debit cards do we have a debit card for each of our personal bank accounts. So my husband and I each have a debit card to go with that account. We have a debit card for our healthcare account, so that if we go to a doctor, we swipe that card instead of putting it on a credit card or anything like that. And that is really basically all of the debit cards we have. I think we did have one for Flex when we were using that for groceries, but we don't use that for groceries anymore, so we don't use that debit card. But other than that, like if you're using your vacation fund, you can transfer that into one of your personal bank accounts and use that card when you're trying to use your vacation fund. But you don't want to be overwhelmed with debit cards, and the system is set up so that you're not pulling money from the wrong account at any time. So less is more with your debit card so that you, again, keep your spending in check. So then for our bills, we will pay them online, or if we need to, we'll pay a check, because our rent, we do a check for that. So that comes from our fixed expenses there. But yeah, that is how we have our bank accounts set up, and I really highly recommend that you set yours up like this too. It is going to make a world of a difference in how you are seeing your money being spent. I promise you will start to spend wiser. That is all that I have for this video. I hope you found it helpful and enjoyed it. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did. And if you are not already subscribed to my channel, I highly recommend that you click the red link down below and subscribe. I will be doing a lot of other videos related to being more frugal in the new year and saving money. And I always do coupon videos. This is a mainly couponing channel. But I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you later. Bye.